Meanwhile, here in California, the GOP convention is underway in Anaheim right now at this moment. You're taking a live look at the podium where former President Donald Trump is set to speak to his party at a lunch at any moment after missing that second GOP debate right here in Simi Valley on Wednesday. KCAL's political reporter Tom Wade is live in Anaheim now with the very latest. Tom, I know there are a lot of people out there supporting the president at this hour. Any against?
Good afternoon to you, Ross. Yes, there are people who are out here that are opposed to the former president. Members of the Orange County Democratic Party came out a short time ago, a small crowd of them, to kind of challenge some of the Trump supporters that are here right now. You can take a live look. People just kind of milling about, waiting for the former president to arrive here on the scene at the Marriott at the Convention Center here in Anaheim, as you said, for the California Republican Convention that's going on here this weekend. Take a look at some video we shot this a short time ago outside. There you go. Lots of excitement there. Lots of excitement as Trump supporters are waiting up and down Harbor Boulevard, not far from where the president is set to speak. He is expected, of course, to touch on a number of topics, but really just sell himself as why he should be the nominee for the party. Remember, there are 169 delegates up for grabs here in California for the Republicans, and there is a winner-take-all scenario now. So the former president really wants to sell his supporters. Take a listen to what they had to say. We just talked to him.
There is a lot of Latino support this time for Trump, and I think because when it hits your pocket, that's when people really feel it. And I really think that Trump is the perfect nominee for today.
So President Trump hasn't committed any bad, let's say, done anything illegally, period. He's human. We don't want anybody perfect, but he is human, and he will, God willing, be our next president of the United States, whether he goes into jail or not.
Trump supporter is black, Hispanic, Japanese. We are Hong Konger, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese. So all over the world, people are supporting him.
So there you have it. Of course, the former president, as you heard one of the supporters there addressing the 91 felony counts against him. There's 4 indictments. One interesting detail here, the Super Tuesday election, March 5th here in Southern California. It happens the day after the former president is facing his first trial date in the election meddling case. That's March 4th. So we'll see if that trial date holds. But certainly right now, these supporters out here not thinking about that. They just want to hear what the former president has to say. He'll be here at 12:30. And 3 of the other opponents in the primary for the former president will also be here over the course of the weekend. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and also entrepreneur and biotech engineer Vivek Ramaswamy, all going to be here. Reporting live in Anaheim, I'm Tom Wade, KCAL News.
And Tom, it's so interesting that the president is here after skipping the debate in Simi Valley. Why do you think he's coming now to speak to them? Do you think it's really about the primary coming up on Super Tuesday, March 5th, or do you think it's more about fundraising here in California where all that Republican money is?
Well, there are definitely 2 scenarios playing out here in California. This year is different than other years for the Republicans in their primary. In other years, the vote was awarded to the primary winners based on the proportion of the vote. So a percentage of the vote would go, a percentage of the delegates would go to how many votes you would get. But now, if there is a situation where one of the candidates gets more than 50% of the vote, they get all of the delegates. So certainly this is, if he were to win all the delegates here and cross that 50% line, if it was close at that point in the primary system, he would definitely have a winner-take-all scenario. And you're right, as you point out, California does have a big fundraising scenario here where a lot of candidates come here. It's like a big bank. So certainly a place where a lot of candidates come to raise money. Orange County, lots of rich donors here. So it's possible that he could be coming here for that as well.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of delegates, 169 of them, and right now the polling showing that he's only really about 55% of the vote. We'll see what happens and listen in. Tom Wade, thank you.